and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a very special episode 166 of Nerd Pod Generations. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the lovely, as always, Al Judson. Hello, sir.
Hello, friends and enemies.
So, this is a big day.
Yes, it is.
We just came from watching the movie Superman, which is the new James Gunn version, or like you will find online if you type it in, Superman 2025.
Yeah, it needs a subtitle like nobody's business.
Yeah, exactly. So this is our watch and react. We usually start each episode with what we watch, playing, reading. We're going to go right into the reaction, and we will have a spoiler-free beginning and then a spoiler-filled ending to this. We will let you know when the break is coming. But if this is your first time listening to NerdPod Generations, please go to nerdpodgen.com. There are 165 previous episodes of Pure Gold, and there are links to both Spotify and Apple Podcasts on our website. There's also links to our YouTube channel, and on the main page there is a direct link to the most recent episode that we put out. Last week we actually did a watch and react, which we did to 28 Years Later.
Yes.
So now we're doing Superman.
Yes. And unlike last week, we don't have the tinny audio of the lavaliers.
Yes.
Instead, we just waited.
And we have a healthy Al Judson.
Yes, I'm not going to be sick in the middle of
Yes.
this one, knock on wood, unless things go real bad real fast.
Held back on a lot of the soda, so it wasn't too bad.
Yes, I didn't get a refill.
Yes.
When I was
that
leaving
was the big
theater.
thing. Didn't get a refill.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So
Where do you want to start with this
okay,
one?
so this is the spoiler free.
Yes.
Unfortunately for you, the listeners of the spoiler free part, you're not going to probably get our ratings. At least for me, because I need to talk through this
Yeah.
to really give my...
Steve hasn't fully figured out where... He's still in the room full of all of, like... It's like a room full of Lego pieces.
Yeah.
And they haven't been assembled into a Superman
Well,
yet.
and it's like... It's... The Lego... That's a good analogy. And the Lego pieces, it's as if somebody threw them at my face...
Mm-hmm.
And quickly, I could pick out the Legos. I'm like, oh, I like those. I like those. I like those Legos. And then there were a couple like dirty ones that flew by me. But I'm trying to put into context how they all fit together.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's my problem. It's like, okay, so for those of you who don't know, Superman to me is the creme de la creme. He's my favorite superhero. The original Superman movie, you know, to this day, I think is the greatest superhero movie. You can say what you want about comic book movies. I think it is the greatest superhero movie ever made. Christopher Reeve, flat out, is Superman, period, end of story. There is never going to be somebody that can take that mantle from him. And that's something I do appreciate in interviews I've seen with David Cornsweet.
I think it's Cornsweet,
who is Superman in this movie. He even said, I'll never hit those lofty. Like, and when you look at Christopher Reeve, that's Superman. I'm sorry. So I love Superman. They have not made, and I'm going to put aside Superman 2 just because the whole Donner controversy and all that. They have not been able to put a good Superman movie together in 50 fucking years.
Oh, yeah.
Which is insane.
They all have massive issues and problems
unbelievable
somewhere in their pipeline.
Yes.
And so you go in and you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be great. This is going to be fine. You know, we have Brendan Routh pretending to be Christopher Reeves. Yeah. And it just, it just doesn't hold water.
And this is something, and once again, this is the non-spoiler part. This is something I will give this movie. I think the casting was...
The casting all around is perfect.
Perfect.
There's one thing, and it's, again, we've talked about this before, the Guy Gardner of it all. I get it.
Yes.
I get why they did it.
Yes.
You're still wrong.
Yes.
He should still be Hal Jordan.
Yes.
You're still wrong. He should still be Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan can still be a douchebag.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not as much of a douchebag as Guy Gardner, so you can't have him be like an out-and-out douchebag.
Yeah.
But Hal Jordan is still a flyboy. He's still head in the clouds, thinks he's miles ahead of everybody.
Honestly, Ryan Reynolds was the perfect casting for Green Lantern. The movie just sucked.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of snarky...
Exactly. So Hal should have a cutting edge to him.
Yeah.
And Guy Gardner's fine, but like so many elements of this movie, for me, he is one of those decisions that just screams, James Gunn!
Yeah.
And it's just... There were a lot of those, man.
And I think James Gunn, and you could put him into the same category as, I'm going to say, Rian Johnson. Because when Rian Johnson made The Last Jedi, I'm the biggest Star Wars fan. I know everything about Star Wars. And then he made it the way his ego wanted him to make it.
Yes.
there are implements of this movie.
There's huge ego bombs.
Huge
throughout
ego
this.
bombs.
We're going to have to
Massive.
coin that phrase,
Now,
ego bombs.
And the frustrating part about it, though, is you can tell by some of the, like, super nerdy things in the movie
Yeah.
that James Gunn is a super
Oh,
nerd.
100%.
And he's just so full of himself.
And he gets the right answer more than he gets the wrong answer.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yes, I agree with that's a good way to look at this movie.
He still gets a lot of wrong answers.
Yes.
But ultimately, when it comes to the really important things, he gets the right answer. But that being said, it's small things.
Yes.
It's things like, I don't think this is a spoiler because he's been in the trailers. When they introduce Metamorpho, he's not introduced as Metamorpho. And in fact, no one in the entire movie calls him Metamorpho. What they call him, the one time that they refer to him by name, except for everybody calls him Rex, so that's how they get around it. The one time that they refer to him as anything else is the Element Man, which is his title. But, like, I'm looking through all of the Metamorpho stuff while we're sitting through the credits, trying to find something that's like, okay, for, like, the first 5 issues, he was the Element Man, and then at some point in the 70s, he changed over to Metamorpho. No, he's always been Metamorpho. His title has been the Element Man, but he's always been Metamorpho. And so while I understand maybe not having Lex Luthor call him Metamorpho, at some point, someone should.
Yes.
Otherwise, people will just think he's Rex the Element Man.
Well, and I'm assuming that'll happen next movie.
But that's not good enough for me. It
I
needs
know
to
it's
happen
not good
here.
enough for you.
Here and now.
Yes.
This is my argument with
Like,
Homecoming.
I could see the Lex not calling him Metamorpho because he is indignant to anything that this person is.
But then when he bonds with these other people,
Yes.
someone there should call him Metamorpho. Or he
Even
should
though
call
they-
himself Metamorpho.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because they just all met him.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't know to call him that. He needed to be the one to call him.
He needs to take his own name
Yes.
and say, I am Metamorpho. You can call me Metamorpho.
Exactly. Yeah, just something simple like that.
Yeah.
Just call me Metamorpho.
Yeah, and
That would've been
it's because it's so frustrating because I fucking love Metamorpho in this movie.
Oh, he was amazing.
He's perfect.
Amazing.
Perfect. 10 out of 10, no notes.
Amazing.
And, but you know, that one thing.
One little thing.
That one thing. Green Lantern, great. There are some really awesome Green Lantern moments that we haven't gotten to see in any DC movie in the au revoir yet. But you picked the wrong Green Lantern.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna walk away and be like, oh, it's fine, they were doing a thing. No, this is egotism. This is that ego bomb that we were talking about. The ego bomb of, I'm not gonna call him Metamorpho. The ego bomb of, I'm gonna use Guy Gardner instead of Hal Jordan, even though Hal Jordan is the clear person that should be in this movie. It's one of those things where you're just like, dude, making it so Hawkgirl has Black Canary screech. Again, I understand why. You're wrong. You're just wrong.
I don't think they gave her that screech as if, like, how Black Canary uses it. They just gave her that screech because they're like, well, she's a hawk.
She's a hawk, so she screeches
Yeah,
everywhere
that
she
was
goes.
dumb.
But that's the Black Canary move.
Yeah.
The only difference is that there aren't waves of sonic energy
Yeah, blowing away windows.
pushing people around.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's exactly the same. And so it's just like, it's those egotism moments of like, no, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
Well, and that's the spoon feeding moment with Hawkgirl.
Yeah.
Because you're like, do you think people are not going to know that she's a fucking hawk? You're going to have to make her screech like one?
Also, you have these kind of faux branded costumes for the Justice Gang.
Yes.
Which I might throw out there really quick. They don't have a JG on them.
Yes.
They have a JL on them. And if you squint really hard, you can kind of guess that it looks like a G, but if you look at it just passively, you're like, oh, JL, Justice League. Great. I get it. Again, another ego bomb is this use of the Justice Gang.
Yeah.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I get it. That's the joke.
That running joke. Yeah.
It's a running gag. I get it. Oh, that's not the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is that it was never funny.
No.
And it never worked.
And
they overdid it
Oh my
the
God,
entire
they
time
overdid
trying
it
to
so
make it
bad.
work. It's Drax thinking he can't be seen.
Yes.
It's James Gunn humor
Yep.
of just like, let's take this thing that's really cool and make it really dumb. And there were a lot of moments like that in this movie of, here's this really cool thing. Now let's make it really dumb.
Yeah.
And you're just left being kind of like, oh, I wish you hadn't, because you had it. You had it right there,
Yeah.
and then you kind of ruined it.
I would roll this movie up into great casting, great characters, great moments, terrible script.
Yeah. The
Just
script,
because you're saying some of those moments,
Yeah.
and like even when, and this is also a scene in the trailer, so I'm not giving away. There's a scene where Clark is talking to Pa Kent.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't even have the emotional pull that Costner had talking to his son.
I just got so mad. Ooh.
And it was like, to me, I'm like, it was all right.
We're going to talk about the Jor-El of it all.
Oh, no, we're not talking Jarrell. We're talking.
No, I know,
yeah.
but you mentioned Superman's father,
Yeah.
and in this movie, something very specific
That's gonna
happens.
have to be in the spoiler talk.
And I am so mad.
Yeah, that's going to be in the spoiler talk, folks.
I'm so mad about it. No, I like it's. I think the entirety of this movie can be summed up in one minor but important thing.
Uh-huh.
I'll ask you this as a point of reference. What has Lex Luthor's company been called the entire time?
LexCorp.
What's it called in this movie? Luthor Corps.
Luthor Corps. Oh,
You missed
right.
it! You missed it! You winged it so hard, man! You missed it! It's always been LexCorp. The entire time, the 100 years that it's been around, it has always been LexCorp. And then you came in and said, no. I got this one. I'm James Gunn. It's Luthor Corps now. Why?
I totally spaced on
What
that.
the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
Why the fuck would you do that? That is an enormous unforced error. Why would you do that? That's Tom Brady losing track of how many downs there have been. That's Milton Bradley catching a fly ball and throwing it into the stands.
You just threw a dirty Lego at my face.
Like,
that I completely
what are you
missed.
doing, man? What are we doing?
Register, and honestly, it was so oblivious to me that I was like, yeah, it says LexCorp. No,
It doesn't. It says Luthor Corps.
Right.
Why does it say Luthor Corps?
Oh my God! Why the fuck would he?
Why
do
would
that?
you mess that up? This wasn't something that needed to be fiddled with. This wasn't something where it's like, oh, this is a squeaky wheel we gotta fix. So you just did this for egotism. You did this so you could say, no, this is my version of Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Dude, we already know it's your version of Lex Luthor. You don't have to change his name to Alexander to do it, okay? We all know his name is Alexander, all right? We all know Lex Luthor's initials are actually A-L, not L-L, okay? That doesn't mean you need to do it. This is insanity. Why would you do that? And the entire movie is so full of those kind of moments where you're just kind of left being like, okay, why? They bring up a lot of really cool ideas. I love that they have so many of the Daily Planet staff as characters. They don't do anything with it.
No, but I was just looking up something. Listen, this movie was made, and the things I do appreciate is them using and utilizing social media and technology. Now that's something Superman has to fight with, which is awesome. I like that because it's 2025. You can't have it go back to the 70s when, I understand in some of the comics, the older comics, Cat Grant is kind of hoey.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ.
She doesn't have a character.
She's tits.
Yeah.
That's her character.
Her character is to show up and look sexy.
And it's like, you didn't need to do that,
She's
dude.
only slightly above the black guy who's always there and never named.
Yes.
And it's just like, so you have, really what it is that you have Cat Grant, in quotations, you have Cat Grant. You have Steve Lombard, which...
Ron Trope is the character's name.
Yeah, they never say that. Yeah. They have Lombard, which I was excited because I like Beck Bennett in this role. I think that's perfect casting. That's perfect casting. Yes. And they didn't do anything with it. Yeah. You had it and you didn't do anything with it.
Every 2-second slapstick comic relief.
Yes, he is there so you can dunk a big thing of Alka-Seltzer in a cup when everybody's all nervous. And but it's bullshit. It's like there's a great bit from the comics and from some movies where you have Lombard talking about if Clark is gay or not. And in some some versions it's him decrying him being gay, and some versions it's him being like, hey, listen, if you're gay, you're gay. It doesn't matter. You should just be you. But like, I don't get it, man. Why don't you have a partner? And Lois Lane is listening to all this, and Clark Kent is sitting there, and he uses his heat vision to melt the leg of the chair so Lumbar falls backwards in the middle of his whole spiel. And it's like, that's a bit that comic book fans would recognize, that people would recognize.
Yes.
The people that you want to have recognized would get that bit. But it would also be funny on its own.
Yeah.
And it would show us that Superman will put up with bullshit to a degree. But at some point, he's going to knock you on your ass, either metaphorically or in some way, practically. So you didn't get any of that here.
No.
You got Lumbar telling him, like, oh, your writing sucks because I can't tell what it means. And it's like, we didn't get to see the article. That means literally nothing to us. And so I want to call it the Daily Planeteer. Yeah. Because if it's Luthor Corps, what else is different? Oh, who can say?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially, they had it set up to where, okay, so you have Cat dressed like a prostitute.
Yeah.
And you have Lumbar, who's this douchebag, and he never makes a pass at her.
No.
And it's like, there's your interaction. You have it set up on a silver platter. This guy's a douchebag. She doesn't seem very bright. Like, they didn't write her. Which is another thing that pissed me off. I know the character in the comics.
Cat Grant is a genius.
She's just like Lois. Like, super smart and ambitious. And it's like, they nailed it with Lois.
They trade Pulitzers in the comics.
This is quite literally, and this is no joke, I've seen every iteration of Superman and Lois since the initial one. This is the best Superman / Clark Kent Lois casting since Christopher Reeve and what's her name? Margot Kidder. Easily since then. And she is perfect.
Oh yeah,
fucking perfect.
I love Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I do think that they didn't give her enough to do.
They didn't.
She needed to do more stuff. She's a journalist where all of her journalism is done off camera.
This is one of my problems with the movie.
Yeah.
I understand they don't want to do an origin story. Totally get it. If
Great.
You don't know
I don't want
of
you to do an
Superman,
origin
then
story.
You fucking shouldn't go see this movie. They needed to make this a smaller movie.
Yeah.
There's too much going on, which took away from the Lois and the Superman. The interaction they had, once again, this is from the trailers, where she's interviewing him, was awesome.
It was great.
And their little personal interactions were so great. You didn't get any of that other than, maybe 15 minutes of the movie? 20 minutes?
Yeah. Well, and then you have, in some moments, you have these really deep distractions going on, too. So you have Superman shows up, and he's bummed because his dog's missing. Yeah. And he goes to Lois, and they have, one of those, what was that conversation we had, 3 days ago? Yeah. Do you want to talk about it? I'm not sure if I'm ready to talk about it. And meanwhile, in the background, the Justice Gang is, they imply, fighting Mr. Missapixlic, whatever his name is. They say they're fighting a cosmic imp.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what that is. Yeah. It's not the giant eyeball that they're fighting. No. That I don't get. But, I can't focus on this conversation between Clark and Lois.
Yes.
Because I'm just sitting here being like, and the giant thing out there.
Because that's James Gunn's humor.
Yeah.
Because if you were just watching that, it looked funny because Green Lantern's hitting with a baseball bat.
With a big baseball bat.
But you're right. It's a dramatic scene.
It's a distraction.
That's my biggest problem is, once again, and I'll beat this to death, the whole thing that made the 1977 movie so great wasn't necessarily Superman. It was Clark Kent.
Yeah.
It was how he portrayed Clark Kent. It was the interactions with Lois. All of that together is the interactions with Perry White.
Yes.
And that great back and forth with Jimmy Olsen and all this, and it was awesome, and that. You need that. The humanity of Superman is the important part.
Well, and they get so close. There are moments where they get so close where the world is literally coming apart. And Lois is pitching a briefing to Perry White. Yeah. And he's just sitting there with his cigar in his mouth while the world is coming apart. That's perfect.
That's
perfect.
Yes.
You got it. It's right there. That's perfect. And then you get the Jimmy Olsen is just he is Eros. Every woman is running at him.
Yeah.
Full speed. And I'm like, there's no reason given. There's not it's not like Jimmy is some hot guy. I don't know, he's from the Shameless cast who all people think are attractive, but
and here's the thing though, it's 3 years since Superman. I don't want to give that away, but let's just say he hasn't been in Metropolis for a long time. Jimmy Olsen should not be a full-fledged journalist.
No.
I understand you don't necessarily need the whole photographer thing anymore. He should be running their
blog or something.
Yeah, something. Some of their online presence.
Or
and that's how he knows these women. It's because he's going to like club openings and stuff.
He is the photographer for the social stuff.
Yes.
So he has to go out to the Met Gala and all these other things, and that's why he's meeting all of these really attractive people.
They know that he works for the newspaper, so they'll sleep with him to get their photos, and that's how he knows all these people.
But, like, we don't get that.
No.
We're just like,
no,
Jimmy...
he's a fucking journalist. It's like, no, he's not.
Well, like, not only that, Jimmy is propositioned by 3 hookers at one point in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's how James Gunn is going to tell us that this guy is just inescapable to women.
Yeah.
If you see him and you're a woman and you're straight, you have to sleep with Jimmy Olsen. And I was just like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I maybe it's a me thing. I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense within the body of this plot. And
it's changing the characterization.
Yeah.
Which once again, in the spoiler, we're going to get into that a little deeper. But like you said, he had the right idea, but then his ego got in the way. And he started to make decisions that were counterproductive to what not only he wanted to see, but I've been desperate to see. Everyone who's Superman fans been desperate to see. And then he's just like, I got to put my twist on it.
We're talking about James Gunn, not Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, although that also kind of applies to Jimmy Olsen at times in this movie. No, I'm annoyed because when he gets it right, he gets it fucking right.
Oh, nails it.
He gets it so fucking right. The amount of times where something was falling, and I was like, Clark, you got that right? Cal, you got that, right? And he does.
Yeah.
And you don't see that in Invincible or The Boys. You just see people getting crushed. And it felt so good to see Superman catch these things and keep people from dying.
Yeah.
The civilian aspect of this movie has been sorely missing from so much superhero stuff. Because we've gotten into this like, if there were superheroes, they wouldn't care. They would just kill everybody to get the job done. And that became the plot for the last 10 years.
Yep.
That's just, superheroes, there's an ideal version of superheroes and the actual element of superheroes. And we've been dwelling in this quote-unquote actual element for so long.
Even though there's no such thing as an actual superhero.
No, exactly. Exactly. And it's like, this is stupid.
And that's something I did love about the interpretation of Superman is they still had him at points saying, oh golly, and like kind of like the Christopher Reeve stuff was awesome.
This is not necessarily a spoiler.
Okay,
I love the after credit sequence.
Yes,
where he's talking to Mr. Terrific and he just kind of looks down and says to himself, "Man, I really can be a jerk sometimes."
Yeah,
that's fucking him. That's Kal-El. Yes. That's him. He's right here. He's right here. That's him.
Dude, he nailed it.
He got David Cornsweet got the whole thing.
Oh,
he was the reason to see this movie.
He was so fucking
excellent.
I'd say he's one of 3 reasons. We already talked about him and Lois.
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific is
so fucking good.
He's so dope. He's so dope.
Good.
He's everything I wanted him to be.
Yes.
The T-spheres aren't exactly the design I would have gone with, but they work. It's an effective way to do it. And just like we finally get to see Mr. Terrific on screen kicking ass.
Yeah.
And I love that moment where he shows up and somebody at the security place that he shows up to is like, oh, don't worry, it's just the guy that thinks a lot.
Yep.
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! So but I loved him. I loved his, like, I won't take shit from anybody attitude about stuff. And I love when things are really going down and one of the scientists comes in and she says, it's not supposed to do that. And he's like, oh, really?
Oh, really? And then she goes, can you stop it? And he looks, me?
Why would I be able to stop
your
it?
Shit. Fucking great.
It's so good.
His character was so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
And he, like, his composure, because even when shit's going down and even when he freaked like that, he still had a straight face.
Yeah.
He didn't really raise his voice that much.
No.
Was, like, super calm.
Yeah.
Super focused.
He was a pitch perfect Mr. Terrific.
So good.
Just like it was a pitch perfect Metamorpho.
Yes.
You could argue that it was a pitch perfect Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to be Guy Gardner. That's the issue. It's not that it was a bad Guy Gardner. It was a perfect Guy Gardner.
And, we haven't really mentioned it. Nicholas Hoult killed it as Lothar.
Killed it as Lex Luthor.
Like, anyone that will come up to me and try to stand up for Jesse Eisenberg, I'm going to slap them in the face with this box art of this DVD. Because that is Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I still would have preferred if they would have got an African-American gentleman just to fit the cartoon. I like that idea a little better. But Nicholas Hoult was great.
He killed it.
He was psychotic.
Yes.
And he still had that moment when he gets caught, kind of like the Gene Hackman, oh, fuck, type of moment.
Well, I love that speech that he has towards the end of the movie.
Yes.
Where he's basically giving his credo to Superman as to why he hates him.
Yep.
And it's a great, perfect Lex Luthor speech.
Yeah.
It's a perfect Lex Luthor speech. And just there were so many elements that were great, but I know your daughter loved her, but Eve got old real fast.
Eve Tessmacher. That was her last name, Mrs. Tessmacher.
Tessmacher?
Like, Miss Tessmacher! That was her last name, was Tessmacher. That was his Tessmacher in this movie.
I was so terrified that it was going to be Mercy. So as long as it's not Mercy, I'll take it. Yeah. If it was Mercy, we would have to have actual fisticuffs. I would have been so mad if he had boiled Mercy down to that.
I know she was obnoxious.
Yeah.
Which is how the character was written to
be.
She's
written to be
obnoxious. The only reason I give her the slightest of passes, because I knew my daughter loved her because she was the taking selfies in front of everything. But you do find out she has a major purpose in the plot.
She is arguably the biggest hero in this story.
Biggest hero in the story. And the fact that she's Tessmacher, because the first movie, Miss Tessmacher was a ditz. She was the one that ended up being the big hero at the end. Mm-hmm. So they kept that through line, which I was kind of like, if her last name wasn't Tessmacher, I would have been like, eh. Yeah. But with that, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But there should have been a part where, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but there's a part where she gets in trouble with Lex.
Yeah.
And for him not to yell Tessmacher.
Uh-huh.
It's like, dude, you had it on a platter.
Yeah.
I know you couldn't have done it the same way that Gene Hackman did, but it's like, if you're going to call her Tessmacher,
you got to commit.
You got to commit and have him get mad and yell Tessmacher.
That's a big issue with this whole movie, is a lack of commitment.
Yeah.
Even
if not Lex.
There's a huge commitment to certain things.
Yes.
And a full lack of commitment for the comedic aspect to other things.
Yeah.
And it's like, look at how hard we're going to commit to this idea, and then we're just not going to do it here.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, that's a bummer. I want you to commit the whole time.
But even, once again, you didn't even need to have Lex. You had so many of his cronies around him. And there were a lot of times she was kicked away. Mm-hmm. If one of them could be like, Miss Tessmacher, get out of here.
For real.
And something like that.
Yeah.
But to not be that
Yeah.
It's, once again, these are the small nitpicks like you're talking about.
Yeah. They get a lot of stuff really well done.
Yes.
And I do want to go back to some stuff that I do like, because we had a lot of concerns coming into this movie.
I was very nervous that I thought this was going to be a really terrible movie.
And I think that while there are some massive problems, I would still give this a wildly passing grade. It's not an A. It's not even an A-. I have it around a B+ right now, is where I have it floating.
I'm hovering there now in this conversation. I think after the spoiler, it's okay. It's tough for me.
Yeah.
Because this is like my Spider-Man to you.
Yeah.
And to see it finally done well, even with the minor complaints we had.
Yes.
And once again, folks, a lot of the complaining we had are not as... Some of them are big-ish, but a lot of them are minor nitpicks.
They're just annoying.
They're annoying. Like you said, they're issues that didn't need to be there.
They're like bug bites. You're not going to go to the hospital over them, but God, they're going to keep you up at night.
I loved seeing... Now that I love seeing Superman again, and done well, and done properly, and Clark Kent done well, and Lois Lane done well, that makes my heart warm.
Oh, yeah.
I love the little touches. I wish there would have been one major moment where they had little snippets of the John Williams score. I wish they would have picked one.
I was going to bring that up, yeah,
to really let loose with
do the full John Williams score,
because I would have just jumped out of my.
It's a great motif, and they use it to build the new score of this movie.
Yes,
the score of this movie is built around that motif.
But what I think James Gunn's not understanding is the Superman theme is the same as the Star Wars theme.
Yes.
It goes hand in hand with the character.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the big issues with Zack Snyder, it's one of those things that he didn't understand.
You want to talk about an ego bomb? Look at Man of Steel versus this. Man of Steel looks like an enormous cataclysmic ego bomb compared to this.
This movie shows how awful that fucking movie was as a Superman movie.
Yeah.
But like, I wish they would have laid into that. I did really appreciate the final credits, which stay through at least the first part of the final credits. They used the same aesthetic they did at the opening credits of the original Superman.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
You can tell that this is done with love as an homage to the original Superman. Yeah. And they hit a lot of really strong notes.
Yes.
There are definitely some things that are said that I wish had been shown instead of just said.
Yes.
I think that would have helped with a lot of stuff. I think we don't need as much of Jimmy trying to wriggle out of dates as we get in the end result of the film. There's a lot of moments of him going back and forth and hedging on whether he wants to commit to something.
And they hold that pause.
They hold it way too long. And that's all time that we could use with Lois and Clark. That's all time that we can use with the Justice League or Society or Gang or whatever you want to call them. It's not as egregious as Andor, where you're just sitting there being like, God, there's full hours of time wasted. But there is some fat on this where it's just like, you could have gone in and trimmed some of that. You didn't need that, and you didn't need that, and you didn't need that. But I really like it. I really like the kaiju fight. That might be one of my favorite moments in the entire movie.
That was pretty awesome, yeah.
I didn't even mind Crypto. I will say...
Because they didn't overdo Crypto.
He got close. It got real close at a few times.
Close.
But it won it back by the end of the movie.
Yes.
And then that closing scene with Crypto, where you get the explanation on everything. You're like, oh, okay. Now it all makes sense.
Yes.
Now it all okay.
Yes.
So like, I love that part of it.
Yes, that was awesome.
The unforced errors are a pain in the ass, but I agree with you. In comparison to the versions of Superman that we've seen previously, this is like, I started thinking about animated versions of Superman that I've seen, and that's where this took me to. That's not the case usually. Usually if I'm doing that, I'm thinking of it in terms of a comparison. So I'm looking at Henry Cavill's Superman versus the animated TV show Superman from the 90s or the Justice League Superman from the 2000s, and being like, well, you're not even close to the character that he should be. I didn't have that problem here.
No.
I was instead looking at it and being like, there you are, Kal-El.
Yeah.
This is the Superman that I recognize, which just made the moments where there were unforced errors all that much more frustrating.
Yeah, and I'm thinking more and more about that scene where he goes back to his apartment and Lois is there and the Justice Gang are fighting that interdimensional being off in the distance. That would have been such a time for there to be just darkness behind him.
Yeah.
And him on his knees and her like bringing him, hot chocolate and them having this touching moment. Well, it's like, and then him saying what he said, I have to go get my dog.
Yeah. Well, and like just this idea of he is constantly floating over the city. So this idea of him being in her apartment, looking out over the city. So he's not floating over it under his terms. He's floating under it under hers because he needs her. Mm-hmm. He needs her support. He needs her help. And he doesn't know where else to go. Mm-hmm. I really like that they didn't play footsie with their relationship. Mm-hmm. They were like, no, they're dating and Lois knows. Yeah. I was recently watching the Death and Return of Superman animated movie. And the entire first half of that movie is just about how Clark hasn't told Lois that he's Superman in that universe. And I really prefer this. Yeah. Mainly because I always, James Gunn throws hypno glasses at us, which is like, again, this is a callback that's like huge. That's like a 1960s golden era, silver era callback. So kudos. Great. Love it. But at the same time, I just feel like we don't quite get there at times with this. It feels like we get close, we get to the precipice, we look out over it, we even point to it, but we don't actually ever fully get there. I think we'll go into it in the spoilers, but Perry has a line at the end that left me baffled as to what it means. So it just kind of got muddy, but I am glad that they did it this way. Yeah. because I would rather have the mud and the problems with this than have the whole movie be about Clark trying to pull one over on Lois or giving her a super kiss at the end of the movie to wipe her memory. Yeah. You know, so it's like, I'm glad we didn't do that. I'm glad we learned from those mistakes. I'm glad that Rachel Brosnahan is as good in this as she is. I wish she had more to do.
I know, I do too.
Like, the movie should end with Superman saving the world and Lois winning her first Pulitzer.
Yeah.
That's how this movie should end, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's fine. That's fine. But it does feel like a missed opportunity.
Yeah. She's so good.
She's really good.
I can't stress how good she is.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
That scene where she's interviewing Superman that was in the trailer, it is as good as it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's so good. And just her being a real journalist when he wants her to take it easy. When he wants it to be an easy, like, oh, I got this. And then she says super shit. And he's like, oh, don't you even fucking start with the super shit.
Yeah.
Don't even, I'm not here for that. And you can just see she is good at what she knows how to get under his skin.
And I love how she warns him. She said, you are going to be interviewed as Superman.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold back.
This is going to be bad for you.
But that once again, that shows her superpower.
Yeah.
Like, you saw her superpower right there.
Yeah, yeah.
How fucking great she was. And I think that's another thing that I kind of I was disappointed with all of the abductions and people being held. One of my interactions I love from Superman is when Superman and Lex Luthor, or when Lois Lane and Lex Luthor have their back and forth.
Yes.
They never interact.
I don't think they talked once in the entire movie.
Once. They weren't in one scene together.
No, that's a shame.
That is a massive
That's
shame.
A huge miss. That's a huge miss.
Because he's Luthor Corps, which makes me vomit now to say that, is in New York, not far, or New York. Is in Metropolis, not far from where the Daily Planet is.
Yeah.
So there could have easily been a scene where she went there and confronted him.
Well, and there should have been where she goes there to ask him questions, and he, being Lex Luthor, thinks that he's got one over on her, but she's been asking questions with a different intent.
Exactly.
And she got somewhere else. She got some other piece of information that he doesn't even know about.
Well, she knows Superman. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but like, there should have been something. You're right. You're so fully right. I hadn't thought about that, but again, it's a huge missed opportunity of like, she should be talking to Lex. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that Lex is jealous of. Is Lex also wants Lois Lane.
Yeah.
He wants Lois Lane to look at him like she looks at Superman.
Yeah.
And never gonna happen, dude.
Never gonna happen now.
So it's like, again, missed opportunities. I love the stuff that they get right.
Yes. The stuff they get right, they get so right.
The stuff they get right, they get it 110% right. And it's so good. The stuff they get wrong is unforced errors.
Yeah.
And then there's just stuff left out that would have helped all of this round out better.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd say this is a solid B. It's not bad. It's much better than Man of Steel. I would say it's better than Superman Returns.
Yeah.
Is it a perfect movie? No. Is it a really good Superman movie? Yes.
What this movie showed me is there will never be a movie made that will touch that first one. Mm-hmm. And I know people will say, oh, you just have bias because that's what you were grown with. If you know the character and you watch that first movie from the 70s, it hits every point that you need to hit for Superman.
Well, it's something as innocuous, which they hit here, of him getting a cat out of a tree.
Yeah.
In the modern sense of that, that's hilariously. Why would Superman stop everything that he's doing just to get a cat out of a tree? In this movie, he saves a squirrel that's about to be crushed. And you're like, Cal? Dude? Other stuff going on, man.
Not to him.
He
wants to save every life.
He can't help himself.
Yep.
And they really get that here.
Yeah.
There's not like this sense of impending rage or anger or like, I just feel like Superman so often these days has that sense of like, he's a good guy, but there's a darkness under there. And I didn't really get that feel here.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because this performance compared to Christopher Reeve, and the thing they get so right, is unlike a lot of the other ones. And I will give a shout out to, what's that show? Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
That was actually a good show. And I like Tyler Hoechlin, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He did a great job as Superman.
Yeah.
But what they got right with these two portrayals is they made Superman human. Like, he was human. He got mad when somebody stole his dog. He got pissed. And when Lois was pushing him, he got pissed. That's what was missing in the Henry Cavill one.
Yeah.
He was too stone, too sullen, too alien. I know he is an alien, but he's an alien that's been raised on Earth his entire life, so he should be human.
Yeah.
You know, human isn't a genetic thing. It's what you're raised, your environment, everything around you, things you hear, things you see, people you meet. That gives you humanity, and they made him so human.
Yeah.
And I loved that about them.
Well, and like in Man of Steel, I just think back to the scene where you have the trucker that pours coffee all over his head, and then Clark just takes it, but he destroys his truck afterwards. And you're just like, okay, yeah, I guess. But like the Superman I know trips that guy without him even knowing that Clark was the one that tripped him.
Yeah.
He does something to make that guy look like an idiot in front of everybody. And also
that fucking scene drives me nuts because no one heard him
bashing
a truck and throwing poles or telephone poles.
Electrical poles through
fucking
it.
Stupid. It was so goddamn dumb. I hate that movie like poison. And I love Henry Cavill, but I hate that fucking movie.
Yeah, no, it hasn't aged well.
Bad.
And like I do blame Man of Steel in no small way for the issue with civilians the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the one where everybody was like, "Oh shit, Metropolis is just gone and everybody's dead." And in the moment, it's Ryan Johnson again. It's this idea of like shock value. Luke he rejects his lightsaber and he throws it over his shoulder. It's like, no, dude, you fucking missed it.
Yeah,
you missed the entire fucking point. And so that was so important to me to see something better here.
Yeah.
They do have the, customary, we're going to evacuate all of Metropolis scene.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fine. I hate that we have to do this now to make the internet happy.
Yeah.
We have to have a scene where everybody leaves town, otherwise we're just going to talk at length about all the people that died.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever, fine. I would much rather just be about trying to get the situation out of town, although in this one, that also wouldn't have worked. I really like how Superman interacts with the world.
Yes.
The way that he sees himself in it, but also the way that he wants to be seen by others. And how that's why he gets so mad about some of the things that are said about him online. Because he can't combat it. He can't go and talk to that person. He can't go and try and do something better. All he has, like Pa Kent says, are his actions. Yeah. And, man, it nails that part so well. It gets
really
it so
good.
well.
It was really good.
Yeah.
All right, I think we need to move into the spoiler talk.
Let's move into spoilers.
So this is spoiler talk. If you do not want to hear spoilers for this movie, please turn off now and then go see the movie, and then please come back and listen to the second half of the podcast because we got some stuff we need to talk about.
God, we got some stuff we got to get done.
And okay, so now spoiler talk.
Yeah. God, where do you want to even start? Because I want to talk about Jor-El.
You mean Bradley Cooper?
Yes. Which I didn't mind that it was Bradley Cooper. That's fine.
I did. I was like, he's not Jor-El. Like, okay, this is going to be the bias. When your first Jor-El is Marlon fucking Brando, you can't throw Bradley Cooper up there. I'm sorry. You got to get somebody with a little more gravitas to be Jor-El. I mean, I honestly, as much as I hated the beginning of Man of Steel, I didn't mind Russell Crowe as Jor-El.
Yeah.
Because he's got that gravitas about him. Bradley Cooper just looked like some scrawny little douchebag up there with a weight.
It turns out he is a scrawny little douchebag.
Oh,
dude, this made me so mad.
That was fucked up.
This made me so mad. So for context, friends and enemies, let's get into it. So
the beginning of the movie starts with Superman in the famous trailer scene where he crashes and Krypto has to drag him.
There's this great preamble where they have the number 3 reused over and over again. So it's been 3 million years ago, metahumans appeared on Earth. 30 years ago, Superman fell to Earth.
Yeah.
3 years ago, he came to Metropolis. 3 weeks ago, he did
stopped
this.
The war.
3 days ago, he did this. 3 hours ago, he got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And
he crashes down into the ice.
Yeah.
Krypto brings him to the Fortress of Solitude. I mean, that whole scene we've seen already.
Yeah.
Except for the part which they cut out where Superman, when he's there, he likes to see the video replay image from his parents.
Yeah.
And the video has been corrupted, so he only has the first half of the video. I do like that they had them speaking in a different language.
I love that they're speaking Kryptonian.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Great touch.
That was great. That was amazing.
But it's fucking Bradley Cooper and I can't remember
Ratcatcher 2.
Oh, is that who that is?
It's Ratcatcher 2.
Oh, fuck. I thought I recognized her from somewhere.
Yeah. Because you have to have
everybody,
this is James Gunn's stable. James Gunn brought his whole stable, so it's not just Nathan Fillion. He also brought Bradley Cooper, and he has Michael Rooker doing 1 line, and he has Pon Clementif doing like 3 lines.
He has brother for 1 second.
He has his brother for 1 second. Yeah. He has fucking John Cena shows up.
Oh yeah.
He has
Peacemaker. That was kind of funny.
He has fucking Alan Tudyk plays a major role.
See, okay, I'm only gonna quickly cut this off. I know we got to go back to talk about Bradley Cooper. I wish when they cut to that scene of the Fox News-like show,
which should have been G. Gordon Godfrey. Hello, anybody else from DC know who G. Gordon
that's
is?
True.
It should have been G. Gordon.
That's true. When they had the Peacemaker, they should have had Vigilante there too, like fucking like waving at the camera or something.
Or like do like a Today Show type thing where there's people outside, and so Vigilante is outside holding a sign.
Dude,
Peacemaker rules.
Do that. That was the easiest slam dunk humor comic relief on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
You don't put Vigilante in there with fucking Peacemaker.
Yeah, no,
dude,
I just a missed opportunity.
Oh, that was the biggest. Like that one made me so bummed.
I know. It was a great bit, and then just not done enough. No.
All right, so back to
and having Michael Ian Black as
which is awesome.
Not G. Gordon Godfrey was great. Just call him G. Gordon.
Yeah.
Just call him G. Gordon. That's all you need to do. But so the thing with Jor-El is this. So Superman has this whole thing where he likes to watch this video of his parents, and it makes him feel happy and safe and secure in his own.
Because they say we love you.
Yeah, and you know, go out, do good. We're saving you. We save you because we want you to have a good life. Here's this place for you to do well.
Yes.
And so Superman watches this video, goes, fights Bizarro, and comes back to his life. Blah, blah, blah. Time goes on. Lex Luthor unleashes a monster. It is defeated by Superman in my favorite scene of this movie.
My favorite scene, and I do love how they showed the empathy of Superman because he didn't want to kill the beast.
He kept on trying to find other solutions to this problem.
But it was Mr. Terrific's like, are you fucking mind? And he just kills him.
We're doing this now.
Yeah.
And no, just like everything about that scene is so perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
It's perfect Superman fodder.
Yep.
Just like even down to the stupid, like again, things that made me annoyed, but I liked, but I kind of found them annoying. Guy Gardner putting oven mitts on the monster. I love it. I kind of hate it. I love it, but I kind of hate it too.
Well, especially because Hawk Girl is like, I put oven mitts on him. She goes, yeah, but I'm getting fucking beat up here.
I'm gonna get blinked to death.
That's what made it funny is he was so proud of the oven mitts.
Yeah. And so like it was great seeing a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Not just hinted at, like an actual real life Green Lantern. Yeah. Even if it was Guy Gardner, even if he wasn't a terrible wig.
But I'll be honest, if it was going to be anybody, Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion has to be it. Unless you're doing
awesome.
Unless you're doing Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
In which case, I don't know. There's somebody great. I'm sure there's a great person for that. But no, if you're having any of the white lanterns, it has to be Fillion. It has to be Fillion.
He was, as much as I agree, it should have not been Guy Gardner, but as long as it was going to be, he was great.
Yeah,
he was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And he actually was the one that fought for that hairdo because he goes, "I love the Guy Gardner comics."
I know.
And he goes, "It's canon."
It is.
I wanted canon in there.
It's an extremely dumb haircut from the '60s, but he's right. He's not wrong about any of it. He's fully right. It just. It's a terrible haircut.
And I did love that Lois Lane gave him shit about his haircut. Yeah. You should be worried about your fucking haircut.
Yeah. And like stupid things like him claiming that things that he doesn't like are against his oath. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about, dude? But that's perfect Guy Gardner. That's perfect Guy Gardner. Yep. So like I love that. But so we meet Guy and the rest of the Justice Gang during this fight. And they settle everything. They finish off the monster. And then this video is leaked by Lex Luthor where he has fixed the transcription from this recording.
Because of the engineer, which is one of his...
We're going to talk about whether the engineer should have been Metallo or not.
Yeah.
Because we were talking on our drive back about how these days comic books will take canon that's been canon for like 2.5 seconds and say, that's the canon we're going for.
Yeah.
And then they'll point to that and be like, but it's canon. And it's like, it's been canon for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
It's not canon. You have this other thing.
Those comic books that made it canon.
You have this other thing that's been canon fucking forever.
Yeah.
Or you have this character that was invented in 2011. Do you want to do Metallo? And that's where the last piece of kryptonite went? Because they say a lot, like, oh, all the kryptonite on the planet's gone. Mm-hmm. What if that was where the last piece of kryptonite went? What if it went into Metallo, to power Metallo, and you just have a female Metallo? And then we can have the argument over whether this is the same as Shayla Bell or not. But there's an argument to be made that the engineer, nobody fucking knows who the engineer is. Yeah. And she does the exact same thing as Metallo. So just do Metallo! Yeah. Anyway, non-Metallo has hacked into Superman's computer and has fixed the entire code or video for this thing. And in it, Jor-El basically says, go be Genghis Khan. Go to this planet. It's full of idiots. Fuck every woman you meet and create a new Kryptonian empire.
Well, this is the Invincible.
Yeah. That's the plot of Invincible.
This is the plot of Invincible.
And it's just like, that's not Jor-El.
Yeah.
That's not who Jor-El has ever been.
Not even a little bit.
In any iteration, at any time, in the 100 years that Jor-El has been around, roughly. I don't know when he was invented, but he's been around fucking forever.
It's been a long fucking time.
He's been around fucking forever. Yeah. This is not Jor-El.
No.
This is not Jor-El. This is not Lon-El. His wife, also wrong. All of this is wrong. You got the whole thing wrong.
Yeah.
How did you get the whole thing wrong?
And they started it so right.
Yes!
It's like, fuck.
You had it going, and the machine was running well, and we were like, okay, all right, we can have conversations about whether Superman should be in pain from being under direct sunlight, which I still think is stupid, but fine, whatever, we can have a conversation about that. And then you pull this, there's no conversation to be had about this.
Yeah.
This is just wrong. Yeah. You just got it wrong.
It is definitely the thing that dropped it a letter grade for me.
You might as well have had, like, it would have been better if it had been Zod instead. Yeah. And it's like, oh, in this world, Superman's dad is Zod instead of Jor-El. And so now he has to overcome Zod's genetic influence on his personality. And it's like, okay, that's something. You can't have... This is like Uncle Ben saying, like, with great power comes great responsibility to kill every fucking person who gets in your way.
Exactly.
No!
Yeah.
No! You're wrong!
It was obnoxious, and it was...
It's a huge miss. It's a huge miss for me. I agree. It takes a full letter grade down on its own.
I guess what I'm trying to say, I know, getting words out of my brain right now. What they were trying to do and what they ended up doing at the end was showing that Superman, he's not the Kryptonian, he's the human.
He's the guy who was raised in Kansas.
And that's why at the end they show, instead of looking at his birth parents, he's looking at videos of Mom and Pa Kent, because they're the ones that make him happiness. But that's not the character. The character always loves his Kryptonian parents because they literally sacrificed their lives for him to exist. And they gave him all of this love and this support and this beauty and this wonderful, all this wonderful knowledge and all this great stuff. So yes, he can love both sides. He
should love both.
He shouldn't push aside. Like, they're pretty much, James Gunn is pretty much saying, oh, you're not a Kryptonian anymore. Yeah. Superman always has that joint love of
he's both things. Exactly. And that's something that we got to talk about, not necessarily at this moment, but in general while we're reviewing this, is all of the conservatives that have complained about Superman being pro-refugee and pro-immigrant. You're fucking dumb. You're fucking dumb.
Yeah.
You're so dumb, I feel like I need to hit you because that's the only way you're going to get smarter.
This is the same... They haven't changed the story since the 30s.
Yeah.
So why the fuck are you thinking all of a sudden it's woke? No, you're just looking for wokeness in every fucking thing you see.
And at the end of the movie, he objectively chooses to be an American... and forsake his Kryptonian half.
Yes.
Essentially, he denounces Kryptonianism and becomes an American.
For his Kansas fucking roots.
Yes.
His farmer.
So why are you mad? Why are you mad? You get everything you want. He's always been an immigrant. He's always been on the side of refugees.
They got what they wanted.
Yeah.
They got what they wanted. They wanted a fake thing to be mad about, to piss off idiots who won't fucking look into this shit and just think, oh, well, Hollywood's woke. It's like, no, you're just fucking stupid.
You're fucking dumb.
You're fucking stupid.
You're fucking dumb. Like, so dumb I don't want to be in the same room as you because I don't trust you.
No.
You might just grab a knife and start swinging. I don't know. You're fucking dumb.
Yeah, you're fucking dumb as shit.
And so that's my rant on that.
And it's like this is the most... And he even makes it the point of I'm not political.
Yeah.
I didn't go to stop this war in the beginning because I was on one side or the other. I just don't want people to die.
People were going to die. I didn't ask permission to stop people from dying. And Lois is like, but you kind of needed to. And he's like, no, I don't work for the government.
Exactly.
I don't have to get permission from the president to do something.
Exactly.
That's why a lot of people are scared of Superman.
And I love how he made it a point when he was talking about, I can't remember the name of the army that he stopped, the
Bulgarian or something.
Yeah, Bavaria. It's kind of like Bavaria, but it's slightly twisted. He made it a point to say, yeah, I stopped them. I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
I hurt a couple people, unfortunately. So even the guys he's stopping, he's not fucking killing them.
No.
Unlike what we want to do to fucking anyone that's not, that doesn't look like us. We want to fucking kill them.
Exactly.
And it's like, he's as anti-political as you could possibly fucking get.
And then people get on his case for being anti-political.
Yes!
And it's like, no, I have to be above all this.
Yes.
If I'm not above all this, that's really bad. If anybody's read Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, you know what happens when Superman starts working for the American government.
Oh, yeah.
Bad things.
Really
bad things happen.
He kills lots of people.
Yeah. Think Dr. Manhattan levels of just everybody gotta die. And it's just like, this was so good to see his arguments on all of these fronts. And I absolutely love that we got a scene where he turns himself in. Where he says, okay, people don't trust me, fine. I'm going to turn myself in. That's the right fucking thing to do.
Yes.
That's what Kal-El would have done, is to turn himself in.
But he was smart. He did it for two reasons. Mm-hmm. One, because, it showed that he's willing to turn himself in. But two, he knew that he had
that was where his dog was.
He knew that Luthor was in league with the government.
Yeah. I want to talk about Luthor for a little bit.
Yes.
Because while I love the version that we get here from Nick Holt, there were some elements of it where I see what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more well done than Jesse Eisenberg's version of Lex Luthor, who is just Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, he's fucking insane and terrible.
But they still do some stuff that I found deeply annoying.
Okay.
I'm looking at all of the LexCorp people. I won't call it Luthor Corps. All the LexCorp people who are wearing Hawaiian shirts and listening to party music on the beach.
That was weird.
What the fuck is this? What is this? Why is this a thing?
I didn't quite get that.
I didn't get that. I like, he's this really buttoned up guy, and then all the people that work under him are partying. And it's supposed to be like this dichotomy of like, he's up here, but he still lets everybody be themselves. Yeah. But
that was a little weird.
I didn't get it, and it also felt forced because everybody was wearing matching Hawaiian shirts. Yeah. So it still looked like a uniform. It just, I didn't get it. I didn't get that part of it.
And like, if it would have been different if they had said he was trying to hide the portal. Yeah. But they were all military tents.
Yeah.
With his Iron Man. I'm just calling them Iron Man because they were like Iron Man suits. What do you call them? The Ravens?
What were they called? Oh,
I thought it was something like the Ravens or something like
the Warhawks or Ravens or something like that.
But they, these guys were pretty much in Iron Man suits. Were walking around. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so I see your issue with that because it doesn't make sense. They should have been dressed all in black like his other minions. Yes. But if you are trying to hide it and you make it like tiki huts or something, I can understand them being in Hawaiian shirts. Totally get it. But you didn't have the rest of the aesthetic to go with it.
Yeah. No, it just made no real sense to me as far as like a design choice. It's not bad. It's not even really a problem. But it just doesn't fit. It takes you. It's like that fight going on outside their window. It's supposed to be for the bit. It's just for the bit. Yeah. And instead, it breaks Berger's law. And it suddenly takes us out of this moment. Yep. And makes us go, but what's up with the shirts? Yeah. What's all this about? What's going on?
And you never get an answer.
And you don't get an answer. Nope. Why are they playing rock music on the radio and acting like they're, soldiers in Fallujah on leave? Yeah. I don't get this.
And they weren't soldiers. The only ones that were soldiers were the ones in the suits.
The
rest of them were scientists. Yeah. But then they were the ones that are like also attacking Mr. Fantastic. It's like, not Fantastic.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific. Stupid Fantastic Four so in my head right now.
I
can't
know.
get it out of my head.
If we can take a quick aside into Fantastic
No,
Four.
no, I don't want to ruin the show.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I could see that, and it's weird because I bet I'm gonna look up something real quick. I'm just curious, and this isn't. I wouldn't say this is his fault. This, I think, is just how the world is nowadays. But I'm curious to see Nicholas Holt's age. So he was 89, so he's 36.
Apparently called Superman Legacy. I didn't realize that was what we were calling it. They didn't put that on any of the promotional materials.
Okay, so when Hackman made the first Superman, he was 10 years older than what Holt was when he made this. The only problem I had is Holt, he has such a young face.
Yeah.
That even though he was really portraying the psychoticness, the gravitas, everything you need from Luthor, he kind of looked a little too young.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I would say he looked too young for the point they have him in the story.
Yeah.
So like this is Superman is new to the game.
Yeah.
In some canon, Superman and Luthor both came from Smallville, and they're like similar ages. So you could have done something where maybe a younger Luthor didn't have this big whole situation he has now, but he has kind of like what Hackman was in the first movie. He was this super genius, but didn't have a lot of resources, but still found a way to fuck up Superman and almost the world.
Yeah.
I would have almost rather them start there, and then maybe the next one, when they're a little older, have him advancing up along the not only his profession, but his age.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it was hard to take him as serious sometimes just because he looks so fucking young.
Or age it up so that Superman's been in Metropolis for more than 3 years.
Yeah.
I know it breaks your 3 thing that you've been doing.
Yeah.
But I agree. I don't know that 3 years is the right amount of time.
I'll use this as an example. Take that scene where Luthor is at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
And he's sitting, which Frank Grillo I thought did a great job as Flag. He was really good.
Yeah.
But he just looks so out of place in that room because they all look like adults, and even though he's 37 or no, what did I say? He's 36.
36.
He still looks young.
He would only just be able to run for president.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing, and like them taking him so serious, a 36-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know he's a super genius and he's got all these things, but I don't necessarily know if that would be...
He's the head of Luthor Corps.
I know.
Steve, you have to take him seriously.
Yeah, fuck him.
No.
But that, I don't know. That was just something that, as much as I liked his performance and I really liked the casting, I just think the timing of it was a little off.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There were a few timing issues in terms of what they had proposed to us that felt off in terms of like, oh, it's only been X amount of time since X happened. Yeah. And you're just kind of like, oh, okay. So Superman didn't go to Metropolis until he was 27? Yeah. That's kind of weird.
That's very weird.
That's kind of weird, right? That doesn't feel right.
No.
It feels like he should show up at Metropolis at like 1920 and then work his way up.
It depends on if they're following the same timeline they did, because in the OG Superman film, they had him training at the Fortress of Solitude for years. And then, like in that movie, he got to Metropolis as grown up. Well, if you think about it, I want to say Christopher Reeve was 27. So he was, about 27 when he got to Metropolis. Yeah. But unfortunately, because they don't show the first part, you don't know if he had that training.
No. We don't know almost anything about where he came from or what was going on before this, because like that was one of my issues with the two-parent system that they propose, is that they really do, in my opinion, set it up so that Superman, it's almost like Superman loves his birth parents and appreciates his adoptive parents. So he loves and appreciates everything that his adoptive parents have given him, but he is devoted to his Kryptonian parents. I have never in my life met a Superman who was kind of vaguely ambivalent about his own Kansas-based parents. Yeah. I felt like he didn't have this strong connection with either Ma or Pa Kent. And we don't need a Martha moment or anything like that. But it did just kind of feel like he wasn't as deeply connected to these two people until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And that was when he was like, oh, these are my parents. And it's like, dude.
Yeah. And it was, and I loved how they had these people act.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my big problem with Costner and Diane Lane, it's like, you're farmers in Kansas.
Yeah, they don't look like Kansas
You don't
farmers.
look like Kansas farmers. You don't talk like Kansas farmers. You're acting way too intelligent. Like, these people were like, technology had no idea. The mother was very down to earth.
The mom has her phone on speakerphone on the table, and she's bent over shouting at it.
I loved how they did that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is how two people at their age in Kansas would fucking be.
And
even if they raised an alien.
I love that they have accents.
Yeah.
That's something that we haven't seen in a lot of iterations, is Mom and Pa Kent actually having accents.
Yes.
And sounding like they're from this part of the world. The idea that Pa Kent has trouble showing emotion.
Yeah.
But everybody who knows him knows he's a big mushball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I really like this.
I do too. I just wish they would have, now that I've seen it, I wish they would have done like a little bit of
Played
him.
more into that, yeah.
Because I want to see that interaction. Because
Yeah.
that is one of my favorite parts of that first movie, the 77 one, is that whole opening part in Kansas and when his father dies and all that. It's like, dude.
Well, and like that is one of my favorite things when watching any DC piece for Superman is seeing those small rippling changes. Mm. So like watching how in Death and Return of Superman, both Ma and Pa Kent are alive. Mm-hmm. In Injustice, Ma Kent is dead.
Yeah.
It's only Pa Kent that's alive, and he's only going to be alive for about 2 more weeks. Mm-hmm. To play around with those elements, that's a great opportunity. You want to talk about egotism bombs and doing it your way. That's a section you can do it in your way, and I love the way that James Gunn did it here. So I really, it's such a mixed bag at times, because I do love so many elements of this movie. Even stupid things like the Justice Gang having color coordinated uniforms. But then you also get into the fact that nobody in the Justice Gang has an insignia.
Yeah.
They should all have their own insignia. And instead they all wear the Justice Gang insignia, which is not fashionable or attractive or good. I don't know. I want to like this movie fully, but then it does these things that just push me back a little bit, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So like, I dislike how they're called the Justice Gang. Yes. I think that's stupid. I do like that the reason Mr. Terrific decides to help Lois is because it'll piss off Guy.
Yes.
That's great.
That's awesome.
I like that the reason Metamorpho joins the team at the end is because he's the only one that does like the name Justice Gang, and Guy needs the votes.
Yes.
Okay. So some of this stuff I dislike, but some of this stuff I really like. Yeah. I really do like. So it's just like, just clean up some of these elements a little bit. Don't get all eye of the tiger on some of this stuff. Some of this stuff is not for touching. You cannot change it from LexCorp. You just can't. Put that idea out of your head.
Still can't believe
you would do better to have him be the head of Star Labs than for it to be Luthor Corps. It's terrible. It's absolutely atrocious. Yeah. So I want it to be cleaned up, because if it gets cleaned up, then it becomes a really great movie.
Well, my hope is, I believe this is kind of like the J.J. Abrams situation where Gunn was writing and directing the first one, and then he's like going to be the producer.
He's going to hand it off to someone else.
Exactly. Of all these next DC movies, like he's pretty much done making them.
Yeah.
He's now just going to be focusing on this. I hope, he has, I think he's smart enough to have that vision of cohesion, which Abrams did not have. But I'm hoping that the people he brings in don't have the same issues he has as far as the Gun humor and the Gun ego and all that.
Yeah.
And that some of these complaints we have are kind of pushed out of it.
Yeah.
Because my worst case scenario, which I think is probably more than likely to happen, is he's going to fall down the Marvel rabbit hole, where they're going to have like 4 or 5 like really solid movies, and then they're going to find their rhythm.
It's going to become a formula.
And then they're just going to be the Eternals before you know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm really, really concerned about.
And like it's tough because all at once I want them to take their time, but I also complain when they take their time.
Yeah.
There's an argument to be made that having them be called the Justice Gang in this movie will make it all the sweeter when they're called the Justice League or Justice Society later on. Mm-hmm. That being said, I am not here for later on. I am here to review the movie as presented.
I do give them credit. We did get a pretty badass looking Hall of Justice.
We did.
That was awesome.
That was
From the outside, that brought me right back to my childhood, man.
That was great. That was a great Hall of Justice.
Nailed that aesthetic.
It felt a little big considering there's only 3 members. It's unclear.
Well, and that's what I love. The inside was like all boxes.
Yeah,
still.
it's empty. It's cloth. It's drop cloths and boxes and stuff. So like I like it, and you could argue that I'm being impatient, but at the same time, you know, when you're watching Justice Society World War II, the animated feature, you're not sitting here, you know, having a discussion with our man about whether they should be the Justice Society or the Justice Friends or the Justice Cohorts. We aren't getting bogged down in that.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we're spending time on this and that it's a recurring bit that we're spending time on, I would just assume we not.
I will say, after seeing this movie, I am adamant on the fact you cannot have Pattinson's Batman in this. No. It has to be more like a Michael Keaton's Batman.
It doesn't fit the color scheme.
No, not at all. But it has to be that Dark Knight, but not Bale and Pattinson.
No. It has to be like, I still want Batman to have an edge, but I want Batman's edge to match every other DC animated piece that involves other superheroes.
Yes.
The edge that Batman has is that he's much more serious than any of the other superheroes because he has to be, because he's the one that doesn't have powers. Mm-hmm. He's the one that has something very real to lose right now. Mm-hmm. And it's not a person that they love, it's themselves. Mm-hmm. And losing the mission is the worst thing that can happen to Bruce Wayne. I've been watching DC animated pieces just in the background recently. And there's just like Batman's gravitas. He doesn't need to be violent or cruel or aloof or any of these other things that we see in even Pattinson's Batman, where he's like, it's all a play. And he is just, the entire thing is the mission. Yeah, I know. I've seen Batman stuff. I get it. But like there should be something else kind of mixed in with that.
I agree. And
like I couldn't see Pattinson's Batman having a Robin.
No.
You know, it just, I don't see it.
Yeah.
And in the long line of Batman costumes, Pattinson has the black costume. I think we need a Batman with a blue costume. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's the next direction we need to go in.
You're not wrong.
And you know, I've heard some names. And I'm like, that's interesting. That's interesting. The one that I hear a lot is I want to say Anson Mount, but it's not Anson Mount. Though that would be fascinating. A slightly older Batman.
He would be fascinating as Thomas Wayne. Like we had talked about before.
No, it's what's his name? He was in Supernatural. Jensen Ackles.
He would be a really good Batman.
He does the Batman voice in the most recent animated series.
Well, like physicality-wise, he would be perfect.
He would have the build.
He was in The Boys, and he was able to play...
not Captain America.
No, I can't
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy.
Terrible names. That's another thing that bothers me about The Boys. Just a world of terrible names.
Dude, he would be a great Batman.
Yeah. So, like, some interesting ideas batted around here. Some ideas that I can really get behind.
Yeah.
I just wish that we hadn't... I don't even know how to phrase this. I wish that it was cleaner. It's things like at the end of the movie when Superman takes Lois into a room to have an interview. And they start making out and flying and whatever, but they're still away from everybody else. And outside, Perry White is like, so how long have they been dating? Everybody knows that Clark and Lois are dating in the office.
No.
Because
Betty had said she asked Lois about who she's dating.
And
she didn't say a name. She just said an oblivious like person.
Okay. I thought, because that was the part that got me. I was like, so does Perry know that Clark is Superman and he's just not saying anything? What's going on?
No.
So, no, that makes more sense. But, no, I like this movie a lot. I just wish that they didn't get distracted by some stuff. Yeah. And, you know, Gunn, this is a much better This is much better on the ego carpet bombing.
It's better than Guardians 3.
I was going to say,
that's a low
compared
fucking
to
bar, but...
compared to where we were a few months ago when I was like, this isn't going to work because look at the holiday special and look at Guardians 3 and tell me how this is going to work. That was ego carpet bombing on those. There is some light sporadic ego bombing here, but that ego also is enough that makes it. That's why we have Metamorpho in this movie. That's why we have Mr. Terrific in this movie. It's because he had that ego and he said, "This is how I'm doing it." So you take the good, you take the bad.
Facts of life. I do have to do a special shout out. To so Podcat was played by Pruitt Taylor Vince. He's been in a bunch of stuff. For those of you who might have seen the Constantine movie, he was like the priest that has a fit and can psychically read things through papers. When Superman is watching the flashback videos at the end, man, the hairpiece they got for him was horrible. It made Guy Gardner's hair look spectacular.
Yeah,
it was the worst.
It was bad.
It looks like they got the cheapest toupee and just threw it on. They didn't even have him shaved.
No.
He had the same scruff he had.
Well, that was the thing that drove me a little wild was I'm watching this montage. And Ma and Pa Kent apparently haven't aged in the last 30 years.
Not even a little bit.
So how bad did they look when they were in their 30s?
That was the funniest. It was, that right there, it was horrible. Yeah. And I'm like, this is the worst. Whoever didn't bring this up when they were filming this, it is the worst fucking thing.
Well, that's what I honestly worry, is that someone did bring it up, and James Gunn was like, no, it's hilarious. Let's keep it. Because I feel like that's his bit. I feel like that's what he does. As he sees something, someone tells him, no, that's palpably wrong. And he says, no, but that's what makes it funny. It's not what makes it funny, Jim. It's not. it's bad.
See, and this is the difference between you take someone like Peter Jackson, who made Meet the Feebles and Dead Alive, and then made Lord of the Rings, and you cannot see the first two movies in that last one. Here's a guy that made Slither. And you can fucking see Slither.
In this movie.
Can.
There are elements of Slither everywhere. And again, that works for some things. Metamorpho in the negative zone or whatever we're calling it. That was great.
Yes.
That was straight out of Slither and that was great.
Yes.
The having all of the everything else in terms of the goofy comedy that just comes up out of nowhere and you're just like, this doesn't really fit here. I don't get this. I just don't get it. It's not bad. I just don't know how it fits into the machine. So
it's the problem is the level of filmmakers nowadays that are considered geniuses.
Yeah,
it's a low bar.
It's a very low bar. It's an extremely low bar.
For every Denis Villeneuve or Wes Anderson, you got a Gunn or an Abrams who people are like, they're genius. They're the new Spielberg.
Abrams, Gunn, Snyder, the Russos.
Yeah,
these are all people that have been declared the new hotness.
Yep.
And they're the new hotness in comparison to others. If you were to compare this to the guy that made 2012, I can't remember, Roland Emmerich
or Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah, then sure. Yeah. But I would go so far as to say even a director like Paul Verhoeven is a much better director than these guys, and he still made some absolute turkeys.
I mean, I will put RoboCop against any movie.
Any movie. Right. It is arguably a perfect movie,
and it's a shame because their early movies. I loved Slither. I loved the one with Rainn Wilson, the superhero one.
Oh, Defendor? No, that's the one with Woody Harrelson.
Yeah. God, I can't think.
I can't remember either.
Super 9 or
Super Bad or Super Guy or something.
I loved some of his early things. Same with Abrams. I love Super 8. That's a great kids movie. For those of you who don't know, it's a period piece and it's a sci-fi movie and it's fucking awesome. It's like Stranger Things before Stranger Things.
Yes.
And it's fucking awesome.
It's just called Super.
Just Super, yeah. These guys have made great movies, but they get so full of themselves.
Yeah. No, they really do. They really, really do get super in their own hole and think wow, I'm a genius. I can do anything. And it's I'm not saying you can't, but I am saying you still need to have a lore consultant on staff saying, hey, just so you know, this isn't gonna make sense.
Yeah.
In the same way that you need someone there to keep track of the script and make sure that people are standing in the same place that they were last shot and still holding the same cup that they were holding and all these other things. You need to have a lore master who's there to be like, hey, I get it, but also,
like, knowing the fact that when George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney, he had the treatments for the episode 7, 8, 9, and Abrams didn't even look at it.
Disney burned them. They were like,
Disney
we don't need these.
It's like, dude, you could have taken what he wrote and then write your story around it. But like you're saying, it's the lore from the fucking creator.
Yeah.
Make it your own, but use what he foresaw things turning to.
You can't rewrite these things.
No.
Some things you can adapt. I always go back to the Christmas Carol because that has become my go-to when it comes to adaptative ideas and how you can still incorporate your own ideas and notions into a story without fundamentally changing it.
Exactly.
And I look at that in comparison to this, and it's just like, it's really just as simple as having someone there to go up to him and be like, yeah, no, doing great, boss. You can't call it Luthor Core.
Yeah.
You can't. You just can't.
Well, I think that's the problem, though, is he does know a lot of this nerdy shit, but he is so full of himself that he'll never have one of those people.
No, he is so full of himself, he doesn't think he needs one of those people because his ideas are even better than the ideas as they came to him. Yeah. And whether that's true or not is secondary to the fact that is how it comes off in all of his films.
No, absolutely.
All of his films have a sense of, I know better.
Yes.
Joss Whedon has the same problem. I know better than you. Just get out of my way. Let me do my thing, and it's going to be great. And sometimes that really works, and then sometimes it really doesn't. And it really just comes down to the creative liberties that these directors and writers take. And again, if you think that all you do is shit gold, then you're going to be shitting some real not gold. Yeah. You're going to be shitting the exact opposite of gold because you do need other people to come in and tell you, hey, it's not Luthor Core. Yeah. It's just not.
No, I agree.
You might as well call it the Daily Globe. You're so close and yet fully off. I don't know what to tell you.
Like you said, small mistakes. So I think I've come up with my grade. I am going to also give it a solid B. I will give it I don't know how you want to take this distinction of in the last 50 years, it is the best Superman movie.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Next to the original.
Yeah, live action Superman movie.
It still doesn't even scratch the original, but it is great. Yeah. And it is a very entertaining movie. I think watching it more, the little irritants will
kind of meet out.
I'm hoping they'll start to peter out a little bit, and I'll become more of a because I do love, to me it boils down to Superman and Lois. If you nail those two, Superman / Clark and Lois. If you nail those three, you got it.
And I did find it funny that they introduced Hypno Glasses almost as a flex when they didn't need to. Yeah. But he doesn't look like Superman. You actually did it. Yeah. You made Clark Kent not look immediately like Superman. And then you're like, oh, but he also wears Hypno Glasses just in case. And I was like, you didn't need to do that.
I did love the guy who's just like, yeah, Clark Superman. He's like,
he trusts too many people.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah. That was also funny because I've never seen a Superman that trusting. Yeah. Where he's just like, yep, Clark Kent, that's me. And it's like, dude, you have two secret identities. Yeah. You introduce yourself as Kal-El. If you're wearing the blue, you introduce yourself as Kal-El. Yeah. You do not introduce yourself as Clark. No, I do want to, really quick before we finish up here, I do want to bring up Supergirl. Yes. Because I thought that really tied the Crypto thing together. Because
yes, it did.
The thing with Crypto was that it kept on coming back, and then they made you feel bad halfway through.
Yes.
So in the beginning, Crypto, every time he shows up, you're just like, okay, Cal, you're Superman. You have to be able to control this dog on some level. Yeah. And as you go through, Crypto disappears, and then he's hooked up to a machine by Lex Luthor and being tortured, and you're like, oh, now I feel really bad for Crypto. Yeah. You better not do anything to this goddamn dog, because I will fucking kill you myself. And at the end, we find out that the reason Crypto behaves the way he does is because he's Supergirl's dog, and Supergirl loves it when he does that. Yeah. And you're like, okay! Yeah. We made it! We got an answer on this. And I kind of love that she goes off to party on Red Star planets.
So she can get drunk.
I'm like, you know what? Good for you, Kara. Dude. You get some.
And that, that made me excited too. Because I'm like, I will be excited to see a Supergirl movie now.
Yeah.
Knowing that's her personality.
Yeah.
Very, very excited.
Just her giggling on the floor while Krypto is bouncing all over her. It's just delightful.
But the question I have is, I know some backstories, they don't have her on Earth growing up like Superman.
No, she, in fact, in almost all backstories, comes way later.
Way later.
She's
like
older.
In her teen to like early 20s.
She's older than Clark.
Yes.
By a not insignificant portion.
Yes.
But timey-wimey space stuff happens, and she ends up being delayed in her arrival to Earth. And so she's the younger one, but she's older, but she's younger.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're doing that whole thing on this.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is if she's only been on Earth for a short amount of time, just her dialogue was very Earth. Especially when she said, "Peace out, bitch."
Yeah.
Or "See ya, bitch," or something like that. It's like, somebody who's not been on Earth for a long time is still kind of getting their feeding.
Well, like, you just need a line from Clark being like, "I gotta stop letting her watch those shows."
Yeah, something.
You gotta give him something.
But it's like, but that's what makes me more curious about, like, when I know they've talked about doing a Supergirl movie.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot.
When they do a Supergirl movie, are they going to show her backstory? Since she is going to be older, they don't have to show her from a kid.
I think you have to, especially because Kara Zor-El's story is so interesting in compared to Superman's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we've seen it done a few different ways now, but by and large, the broad strokes of the story are Kara grew up on Krypton, knows the history of Krypton,
knew Kal-El as baby
Kal,
yeah,
and gets put into a pod by her mother, gets sent off planet, goes through a black hole, ends up on Earth, missing some 13 to 25 years in the interim, and now has to relearn everything. But she comes at it from this very different perspective as Clark, where Clark has been born into this and knows all this stuff, but doesn't know anything about Krypton. Kara is like, why are you all so fucking dumb?
Yeah.
Why do you act this way? Why do you do this thing? Why are you so mean to each other? Why do you behave this way? Why are you so obsessed with this? And so I think that is something that it would be another huge misstep if they didn't do, in the same way that it would have been a bad idea to do a full origin story in this. It would be a bad idea not to do an origin story in that.
Exactly. Because you don't have to show the, like, growing up and all that.
No.
You could just show her as a teenager on Krypton.
Especially if, like, there's an element of her being wooed by Darkseid or something.
Yeah.
Like, come on, there's some really cool stuff you can do
here. That would be
here.
some really cool shit.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, when they went into the pocket dimension, I was kind of like, is this for Darkseid?
Where is this?
For a second there, it kind of looked a little...
Again, another thing where it's just like, we need a name.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be the Phantom Zone or anything like that, but give me a name of this place. I need a name. You need to. That would have been a good.
That would have been a good shout out if they called it
the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a really cool shout out.
Exactly.
Once again, missed opportunity.
You have it. Don't call him Element Man, or have Lex call him Element Man, and then when he's introducing himself, he calls himself Metamorpho.
Yeah.
When you're doing, Guy Gardner talking about being a Green Lantern, have him have some offhanded comment about not being Stewart or Jordan. I'm Gardner. I'm me. You got me. Those other two guys are apparently better than me because they're off doing more important stuff, and I'm stuck here with you idiots. And just like, I feel like it's there. You just got to push a little further and then reel in on some other stuff.
Yeah, I get it. Well, bees all around.
Bees all around.
So once again, if you listening, I hope you take, and if this is your first time listening to one of our reviews of a movie, take our criticism as that, but don't take it as, like, the movie sucked.
No, this is not a bad movie.
But we will be critical, even movies we like. We will be super critical and point out the parts that are wrong.
Oh, yeah. I still want to watch Amazing Spider-Man 2 because it, for a long time, was my favorite iteration of Spider-Man.
Okay.
I thought it got so many elements of the story right. And I can also sit here and say, it got some massive things wrong. Just
Rhino.
Huge. Like, the Rhino stuff, it seems pale or medium in comparison to stuff like Aunt May being a nurse or the fucking planes crashing out of the sky or all this other shit. I'm like, get this shit right the fuck out of here. All the parent stuff, get it out of here.
Yeah.
You're wasting my time. Get it out of here. Get to the stuff that matters sooner. Rhino should be introduced at the top of the third act. Yeah. What are we doing? So, I love that movie. I'm also hypercritical of it. I really like this movie.
Yes.
And that's why I'm really annoyed at the stuff it gets wrong.
Exactly.
Because you were so close. If you just didn't do that, if you just didn't feed your own ego and smell your own farts, we would be there. But you insisted on pulling over so we could all smell your farts.
Which, this is still, I don't want to jinx us. We're on a trend now. We have 3 A+ movies, and now we have a solid B. Yeah. And then for folks, to give you a little spoiler, we're probably going to be reviewing
The Phoenician Scheme.
The Phoenician Scheme, the new Wes Anderson film. That's probably going to be our next show. We usually don't have these stretches of quality. And then as soon as the Phoenician Scheme is done, Strange New Worlds comes out.
Oh, I'm ready for Strange New Worlds to be back.
I think the end of next week it comes out.
I'm so ready for it to be back.
So we have potentially a lot of positive, which is weird for us.
Dust off the Paramount subscription.
I just subscribed to it today. Yeah, I subscribed to it today. I'm ready, man.
Oh, I will throw a quick PSA out at the end of this review.
Okay.
I had this would have been in my watch play read, so I'm just going to throw it out there because it's funny and it regards WB. I, like many people nowadays, have been starting to bundle together my streaming services because that way I can't cancel all of them at once and I'm not paying an arm and a leg. So everybody wins. They win because I can't cancel all my streaming at once. I win because I'm not paying $20 per streaming service. Great. Happy to do it. I went to watch HBO and HBO kept on being like, you don't have HBO. And I was like, yes, I do. I have it through Hulu. And it was like, no, you don't have HBO. And this went on for about 20 minutes of broken links and QR codes. What had happened was, and this is important for anybody who has a bundle, you have to go into your Hulu and introduce your Hulu to your HBO and have them shake hands and recognize each other before it will allow you to say that you have HBO.
Oh, that's so dumb.
So basically I had to log into HBO through Hulu in order to use HBO.
That's so dumb.
Which I had been paying for months.
Yeah. Oh, that's so dumb.
The future we live in, folks. David Zaslav, you got my money again.
We're fucking doomed. All right, folks, this was NerdPod Generations episode 166. I hope you really enjoy it. We know we did. Once again, go to nerdpodgen.com. There are links to our podcast, also our YouTube channel, which Al has put up clips from a lot of our past shows, including and some of our more recent ones. Also, make sure to tune in for our next episode. Once again, it's kind of up in the air because Murderbot's also going to finish in that time frame.
It's very likely that it'll be a 2-4, like a Murderbot and a Phoenician Scheme. Probably Phoenician Scheme, and then if we need to, we can punt Murderbot.
Yeah, so we should have a nice meaty episode next episode.
Plus, we got 2 weeks of watch, play, read. It's going to be a chunker.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. So look for that. It probably won't be for another about week and a half for the next one to come out.
Because you got wedding plans.
I got a nightmare of a wedding plan. But anyways, this has been NerdPod Generations. Al, who does our artwork and music?
Another PSA to anyone out there: do not have your rehearsal dinner 2 days before the wedding.
No,
that's a dumb idea.
That's the dumbest thing.
Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our theme is by Brendan Williams and James Connolly. I am Alfred Judson.
And I'm Steve Taylor.
And until next week, friends and enemies, we will be getting artistic. We'll be leaving this blockbuster bullshit behind.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm ready. Have a great week, friends and enemies.
Peace.